We are going to introduce our next talk here. Up next, we have Julian Liniger. He is the co-founder and CEO of Relay, and he's here to chat about how to supercharge your business, the strategic advantage of buying Bitcoin as a company. So please, warm round of applause for Julian.
Hey guys, good morning. How are you? Thank you for the intro, Legend. It is indeed about businesses. So is Bitcoin something that is actually interesting for businesses? How many people are involved in a business? How many company owners? Who actually owns a company? A lot. Who of these company owners owns Bitcoin individually? And who of these company owners own Bitcoin on the balance sheet of the company? So I think that's going to change, right? That's exactly the thing. There are a lot of entrepreneurs, company owners that are individually into Bitcoin. They have understood that Bitcoin is a great asset, best store of value, etc. But they yet need to implement it into their business strategy. And I think there's a big case and a lot of reasons why Bitcoin can be a very strategic competitive advantage as a business. It will make your business better, and every business, today it's Microsoft, a couple of years ago it was MicroStrategy, and every business at one point will vote for getting Bitcoin on the balance sheet or not. Microsoft is actually going to vote on the 10th of December whether they're going to do it or not. It will supercharge their business. They own a cash reserve of 75 billion, and it's in cash. In US dollars, that has an inflation rate of a couple of % every year. What if they would maybe consider investing into Bitcoin, which has a growth rate of 50 to 60% every year, right? Let's start with the why. And we have some experience now of onboarding more than 100 businesses onto Bitcoin. And what we find is the purpose of them, well, like why are they doing it? The first movers, they see these like big legends, their idols basically, these very successful investors, entrepreneurs, businessmen, amongst other Larry Fink, the founder and CEO of the biggest asset manager in the world. This is a founder that other founders look up to. And all of a sudden, this guy is talking about Bitcoin being a flight for quality, being the best asset for storing value and purchasing power over the long run, being a good hedge against the problems that the fiat system and governments around the world have. This is something that has a big influence on founders because this is an idol of them. Michael Saylor as well, one of the idols and one of the big people that other founders look up to. He says, look, it's very easy to be successful. You need to get up early, work your ass off, and store the energy that you create in a currency that is maybe not inflating and not debasing every year. But because you can work super hard, but then if you use a form to store this work or the results of your work in something that is just debasing, then you have to work harder. If you store it in something that is actually increasing in value, you need to work less hard and get more out of it, less input, more output. So currently the operating system is fiat money. So you store your value in a very poor choice, actually, for long-term saving. If you look at the euro, we're in Switzerland here, but we're also in Europe. I know there's a lot of US people here that are listening. So the euro has been introduced 25 years ago. When it was introduced, it was like 2-to-1 exchange rate to the Swiss franc. I can remember that. I know I look young, but I'm actually older than 25, so I can kind of remember. And it's now less than one. So €1 is now less than 1 Swiss franc. So it lost more than 50% against Swiss franc, which is also a fiat currency that is inflating. So if you actually compare it to a hard asset like gold, it lost 700%. So who in their right mind would store value in this? Right, this is a joke. And if you compare it to Bitcoin, which is, as we all know, I think the best savings technology that there is, the superior asset, the soundest and hardest money we've ever had, then it's like an inconceivable amount. And Bitcoin isn't even around for 25 years. It's around for 15 years, and since then the euro has super hyperinflated against it. So why would you work your ass off every day as an entrepreneur and do your best to earn money and then store it in something like that? It's dog shit. Sorry, I would need to click to the next slide. Yes, thank you. The reason why Bitcoin is better money is it just compares on the characteristics that make sound money, like scarcity, divisibility, portability, etc. It just scores much better than fiat money and even better than gold. So it is the best store of value asset that human beings have ever brought forward. So why would you, as an entrepreneur, not store your value into that? It's kind of obvious. And so if you think about that, if you change your operating system as a company from something that is losing value all the time to something that is gaining value over time, you get an amazing competitive advantage. And this against your other companies in your industry. So think about that. If we as a startup, for example, we need to go out and raise money. We need to talk to investors and get their money so that we can do something great in the future. We can do this if we show them how we can be better than others. How can we outcompete, outgrow others? If we store everything in fiat and someone else is storing it in Bitcoin, then they can invest more into marketing campaigns, into better products, into acquiring more users, and then they can be better in the future. So if you change your operating system, you get a competitive advantage, so you can outgrow your competition. So you don't need to work more. Maybe they even work harder than you, but you get more value that you can invest in future growth of your business. It's a competitive advantage to make the right choice. So what is it that companies that we have onboarded like about Bitcoin? Why are they motivated? Why do they invest into Bitcoin? We asked them, and most of them said, because it's decentralized, can't take it away from them. It's a hedge against inflation. These are real data that we get from our companies, and there are normal companies out there that just have understood, like Michael Saylor as well has understood, that it's a poor choice to store the result of their work in fiat, and it's just a much better choice to put it into something like Bitcoin because of its decentralized nature. It's hedged against inflation. Now, the question is, which businesses are already doing that? Which ones are the early adopters? There are not many businesses, as you know, that are doing this. I think in 10 years, pretty much every business will think about that. Many of them will do it. Which businesses today already are pioneering this space? Of course, there are public companies. Everyone kind of knows about this in the Bitcoin space. They're the big guys. Even Tesla owns Bitcoin, of course, MicroStrategy, etc. Metaplanet stock has had an amazing rise after they announced their Bitcoin strategy. These are public corporations. Of course, they are interesting, but there is, in my opinion, a much bigger potential out there. There's a huge amount of companies that is actually the backbone of our whole economy, globally and in Europe and in Switzerland, everywhere. Did you know that there are 25 million SMEs, so small and medium-sized enterprises, in Europe alone? 25 million. It's like 95% of all the companies are SMEs. and they hold cash reserves of around 150K each. Some much more, of course. And in total, that's $3 trillion or euro that they hold in cash reserve in a fiat, currency that inflates officially 2 to 4%, actually like 10% a year. So they are losing a shit ton of money purchasing power every year. Now, how many of them are Bitcoin-led? We saw it at the beginning when the question arose, how many company owners actually also own Bitcoin individually? Well, around 10% in Europe, 8 to 10% of Europeans are into Bitcoin. And so it would be kind of the conclusion that they would also be interested to, at one point, put Bitcoin on their balance sheet with the company, right? So the current market potential, of course, most of them have not done it yet, but they will in the next couple of years. The current market potential, though, then, and it is a very simple back of the envelope, you see this, but around 300 billion of cash that is actually trying to migrate into Bitcoin in the short term, and in the long term, the future market, I believe that we will get from 10% more to like a third of individuals in Europe and companies in Europe that will want to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So we're looking at a $1 trillion potential market in Europe alone. These are very, very big numbers. And so I don't understand why no one is offering it. Relay is actually pretty much the only company that's offering it. I don't know why. Like all the other Bitcoin companies should actually scramble for this market. It's the biggest potential there is right now. There's so much cash that wants to get into Bitcoin. But we're still at the very beginning. Bitcoin itself only has a market cap of a bit more than $1 trillion, which sounds like a big number, but it's like nothing if you compare it to the traditional asset class like real estate, bonds, equities, cash that is lying around on all these bank accounts. And so what we already see from these more than 100 companies that have onboarded with us is that they do have assets, right? We actually have more than 300 also individuals and companies that are using our Relay private service, so OTC, that is bigger tickets, 100K upwards. And also they already have portfolios. They own cash, they own gold, they own real estate, they own different assets, right? What they are doing, those that are interested in Bitcoin and come to us and acquire, they want to sell their real estate, some of them. They want to sell some of the stock portfolio, they want to sell some of their gold to diversify and start investing into Bitcoin. And that makes a lot of sense. If you're a company, you have revenue, you have profit, you have cash reserves lying around, maybe you have other investments. To start, at least put 1%, 5%, 10%, some do actually like 50% of that into Bitcoin, which is the superior asset class to store value for the long run, to get a strategic advantage for your company. It's a very straightforward thing to do. Now, to get deeper into the question of who these companies are, which companies are doing that today. It was very surprising to me when I did that, when I looked at the aggregate of these more than 100 companies that put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. It's not like mostly financial companies or super tech, giant companies. There are normal companies out there. If you walk the streets in Lugano, you see companies like this. The first industry is actually crafts and trades, craftsmen, that work with their hands, bricklayers, carpenters. These guys, they get it, that they work super hard for their fucking money. They don't want to let it inflate to infinity. They want to preserve this purchasing power for the future, so they can buy a better home for their family, and they can expand their operations and make more money, etc. 42% of all these, so close to 50 companies that we have, are craftsmen and trades industry. Services and consulting is also a big one, like a third. IT agencies, advisory companies, software developers, etc. But all sorts of consultants, because also they work hard. They want to store their money so that it keeps their value. And then last but not least, real estate. So these companies, actually, their main core business is about real estate, and so they see real estate as, of course, a hard asset, but they also get that there is an even harder asset, which is Bitcoin. And for their operations even, they use Bitcoin as a tool. Which brings me to my favorite cases, and I think the second one is a real estate company, so bear with me for this. The first case, there are three cases that I individually find super fascinating. One of them is a gold brokerage company. Again, they know about hard money. They know about what the hardest asset for them was gold. They know the reasons why gold is a great store of value for thousands of years. But they also now, because of that, because Austrian economics is at the base of their thinking, they understand the value of Bitcoin. And these guys are actually buying 100K worth of Bitcoin every month with us. They have a next level DCA, like auto invest on steroids with us. They're putting 100K, I think even they do it weekly, 25K a week. Of their, they have a huge brokerage, gold brokerage business, so they make a lot of cash, and a big part of their revenue they just put into Bitcoin. A very fascinating company that just found out about us online and gave us a call. We onboarded them, and now they're putting 100K a month into Bitcoin, and they don't plan to stop. If anything, they will increase the amount that they allocate to Bitcoin as a strategic long-term reserve. For them, it's digital gold, right? It makes total sense. Back to real estate. So this real estate company is buying 10 to 50K worth of Bitcoin for every building that they buy. So imagine they buy a building, they maybe develop it, and then they rent it out for 10, 20, 30 years, and they need to build a reserve for when something breaks, like the electricity system breaks or something breaks, the roof breaks or whatever. They need to repair it. So they need to have like a reserve for every building they own. And they figured, well, it doesn't really make sense to hold euro as a reserve. If in 10 years the roof breaks, I need to invest in a new roof, I've lost like half of my purchasing power. Why don't I use Bitcoin as a tool to store this purchasing power for the future? So when the roof breaks, I can actually invest in the best quality roof that it is increasing the quality and the value of the real estate, and I will even still have a lot of money left because it's the worth it went up in value. It's such a no-brainer. It makes so much sense, and it even have implications on our society. It will make in 10, 20, 30 years all of our real estate, all the houses we'll see, the quality of it will rise because of that effect, because they will have more purchasing power to invest in better reparations, better buildings, just everything, services, goods that you buy, everything is going to be better if we use Bitcoin, which is sound money, as an operating system to transport value into the future, than fiat money as losing value. So we need to build things cheaper and cheaper all the time, faster. That doesn't make sense. It's about time preference. And last but not least, a dentist. Now, this guy just goes, I'm a dentist. I have a couple of 100K lying around. I work hard. I understand Bitcoin is better than fiat to save my money. So can I buy? And he just did a one-time buy. I think maybe had close to $1 million on his balance sheet in Swiss francs, actually a Swiss company. And he said, I think I want to allocate like 20% of it into Bitcoin. So he did that, one trade, he holds it. He just said, look, I probably don't need this money for the next 5 to 10 years. I want to store it in something that increases in value, so maybe I can then invest in better machinery, in a bigger building, I can hire more people, I can expand my operations. And the future is better if you do that. So these guys are getting it. And they have friends that are also entrepreneurs, that are also, business owners. They are telling them, It's a network effect. They bring them to Relay as well. They also start buying Bitcoin. They also get it. They start talking to their friends. It's that network effect that is unstoppable. So it makes me look into the future, in a very promising future. Now, how much time do I have left? Like 10, 5 minutes. There's one more thing. I don't want to make this a pitch, but I want to make it a bit of an announcement. Because yes, we have Relay Private and Relay Business. I talked mostly about our customers now, and we're very proud of this service. But so far, it was also an MVP. Like, can you imagine that people are just, on a call with one of our customer relationship managers, or they're sending them emails, or even WhatsApp. WhatsApp, like, hey, can I buy 100K? Oh, yeah, sure. Here's the bank account. They sent the money. We sent it. Oh, can I get your address? And then we sent them the Bitcoin there. And that's actually how it worked the last roughly 1 year that we are doing this. It's very MVP. So imagine, even with a very bad or actually non-existing product, we onboarded more than 300 high net worth individuals and businesses. So now it's time for the next step, where we actually have a product for these people. Joel is actually also here. That helped me with this announcement video, if it works. You know this guy. I don't think it's working, unfortunately. Can you help me with getting that to work? Oh. That would have been cool, huh? Everyone's like waiting with their phones. Trying to hit post on their Twitter. It's unfortunate we're not getting it to work. Okay. No, it's not working. Okay, unfortunately. So basically, you want to do it live, Joel? No, you don't have to. If you want to, you can. Okay. Let's put him on the spot here. Let's put him on the spot.
All right. Does it work? Okay. Oh, you need to show the platform. So the idea was, there was a video. I would do a live demo in the video. You would see how to buy shitloads of Bitcoin. But this is it. We basically announced a dedicated Relay Private, Relay Business platform where you can place your orders, you can sign your wallet, you can hit smash buy with large orders. Mario's somewhere over here. He's your guy. Come up.
Yeah, Mario. Let's put the whole Relay team on the stage. We have we have a team, a dedicated team of client relationship managers that are handling these, big orders from businesses, from high net worth individuals. But so far, you did it via call, WhatsApp, email, etc. Now,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that there's a lot we've learned from that, right? And a lot of these learnings have influenced what we've built here. And I think Joel and the marketing team will, right after this, publish it everywhere, announce it on social media, and also post this video, which is actually great. It's already live, so go out to Twitter and see it. But basically, he's showcasing how, and this is the fastest it gets. Like within 24 to 48 hours, as a business, you can come to our website, you can do your whole onboarding. It's like self-service. If you have all your documents ready, it takes you probably half an hour or an hour to upload everything. One of our teammates is reviewing it, have a quick call, 15 minutes call, just to say hi, also answer some questions. And then you get access to this wonderfully designed and implemented dashboard, basically web app that has been built by our devs and tech team. We put in a lot of work this year into that, and it's very nice to use. You can connect your hardware wallet. You can place an order of like 1 million or whatever, and then you send 60. Yeah, and then you just send the money, get the Bitcoin to your hardware wallet. Of course, as everything with Relay, it's Bitcoin only, it's self-custody, it's Swiss-made, great support, great quality, and yeah, that's it. I hope if all these business owners that are in the mix here that don't have any Bitcoin yet, just let us know. There's Benjamin, who is leading our Relay Private and business, like OTC desk, Mario and the team, happy to help you guys. Let's bring more Bitcoin to more people. Let's fucking go. Thank you.
Thank you.